Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Ulta Beauty. Holiday cheer is here, and Ulta Beauty has gifts for everyone on your list. Treat them to fan-favorite gift sets from Charlotte Tilbury and Peach and Lily. Go all out with timeless fragrances from YSL, Ariana Grande, and Carolina Herrera. And you can never go wrong with an Ulta Beauty gift card. Head to Ulta Beauty for gifts that make the holidays brighter and even more beautiful. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
Hey all you heroes, hawks, heralds, crows, pirates, and wardens. Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we unpack, discuss, and galaxy brain about all the lore behind the Dragon Age series.
We are so excited to bring you this podcast. Every episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Dragon Age universe, from character deep dives to exalted marches and elven gods. We will cover it all.
There will be spoilers. And always remember, swooping is bad.
Hello and welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we take time to talk about Dragon Age and its lore. I'm one of your hosts, Austin, or Teacup.
And I'm She-Cup.
Yes, for the first time in 2 weeks, I got that correct. So that's the kind of week it's been. But we're here for our lovely patron chat, and so I have our lovely patrons here, and so I'll let them introduce themselves, and we will start with Capricorn Tower.
Hello, that's me, Capricorn Tower.
And then CW Rogers.
Hello, I am Charles, or CW Rogers 6 in the Discord, and I just almost accidentally did my own podcast intro when the Zoom meeting started.
I feel that. Last but not least, we have LVCC13.
Hello, I am LVCC13, or Lizzie.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of myself, because most of the time I have to look at your Zoom name to be able to say it correctly, and you don't have it up there on the Zoom, but I remembered.
Yay! You know, I've had to be professional on Zoom for like the past couple of months. It's been weird. I don't like it.
Well, let's just dive right in and get into our topic for the evening, which is all about Cole. Cole from Dragon Age Inquisition has kind of been a hot topic over the years. I think less so now. We have other things to discuss, but still fun to kind of dive into this. And so really the question is going to be, do you choose to make Cole more of a spirit or more of a human? And has your opinion changed after the Veilguard? And so just to give kind of a little bit of an overview for the listeners, basically the quest, if you're not familiar or if you just haven't done it in a long time, the quest is Cole asks the Inquisitor to become more human. And Varric is for that. And Solus is against that. And they both have their reasons. They both have the points that they make. And so it's really up to you to decide which route you take. And that's pretty much it. So let's just dive right in. Who wants to go first?
The long, awkward silence is my favorite part.
Well, Charles, you're talking. So
and I always say something, and so I always end up going first.
It's the way of the world.
Which I know happens, but I can't resist. I'm a podcaster. I can't shut up.
Fair.
The first time I ever played this quest, I picked the spirit option to go more spirit. On the logic that, like, well, I don't want to turn Cole into something that he's not. He is fundamentally a spirit. He is a spirit of compassion. Based on my understanding of how spirits worked at that point, that seemed like the better option. It didn't seem like it was a good idea to try to turn a spirit into something that it wasn't. That seemed like it was going a little too close to demon for me at the time. Based on the new information, honestly, it's just made me like this quest more, because ultimately what this quest comes down to is both options kind of are really good for Cole, but also suck for Cole. It's great writing. It's phenomenal writing, because there really is arguments for both choices in a way that very few other quests, I think, are able to capture. And honestly, if you asked me to make exactly the same choice knowing what I know about Veilguard, I'm probably gonna make him human. Honestly. I came in here prepared to say I'm gonna make him a spirit again, but honestly, I think I'd switch. I'm not switching in my canon playthrough run because I have a rule about that and I stuck with it. I can change one thing and that was not the thing I changed. But honestly, I might have to break that rule, because based on what we learn about Manfred, makes a much more compelling case in my mind to go for the human route. If Cole really I don't know if I love how we get them there, having to encourage him to go kill a guy, but the guy also sucked. So it's Dragon Age. The morality is really complicated.
I mean, the dude doesn't die. Varric stops him.
Well, yes, but we go there with the full intention of having Cole murder this guy. To be fair, Cole has murdered a lot of people. I think the fandom forgets Cole murders a lot of people.
We all murder a lot of people. We're a main character in a fantasy-based video game. We do not have the moral high ground, people.
I thought you were about to say like us as like real life people, and I was like, I don't know about you, but I haven't murdered anybody.
I have definitely not killed anyone.
First of all, I would never admit to anything like that anywhere that I could be recorded, and definitely not without a lawyer present. Know your rights, people. Secondly, we're not actually going there with the intention of killing anyone for that mission. All we know is that Cole is pointing in a certain direction saying, hey, to make this amulet work so that I can't be bound, something is blocking me. We need to go that way. And we follow him that way to Redcliffe. I wonder how long it actually took them to get there and how many times they had to change directions.
I need to do this thing that I do, where I quickly Google something in the background and hope nobody noticed, except I'm drawing attention to it. Because I'm pretty sure we go with the express purpose of killing that guy.
That's when you follow him with Varric with the crossbow.
No,
that's what Cole thinks he's going to do.
That's where
Cole thinks he's going to kill that guy.
That's where I get with this, and that like I don't think maybe Cole thinks that he's going to kill this person, but I don't think really the Inquisitor. Well, I guess I can't speak for the Inquisitor because it's a player character, but I don't think Varric ever had any intention of letting him cold blood murder this person. Yeah. I think that what makes Cole human in this moment is the ability to experience an emotion like rage and bring yourself back from it. Bring yourself to maintain, to move from rage to compassion.
Varric's putting a lot of faith in this spirit to not kill this guy.
Well, Varric's best friend is Hawk.
Red Hawk would absolutely have killed this guy.
Purple Hawk is Canon Hawk. We all know this.
I think that like it's more about like Varric has a very high regard of, and I'm gonna just say human for just the sake of like human mortal kind. Like he has a very high regard of like their capacity for goodness in general, which is amazing given his life.
And the fact that he literally lives in the Hanged Man.
Correct. You could have just said lives in Kirkwall.
Well, I think the Hanged Man particularly gives it a little extra depth there.
Yes, I did double check it, and I was slightly misremembering the order of events. Varric does only give him the crossbow after you choose to have Cole confront him.
Knew it. Varric owes me a sovereign. But I agree with you, though, in general. Like, once we have the context of the Veilguard, that really made me go back and rethink my decision on what to do with Cole as well. And I honestly don't know what my canon is for it anymore. I almost lean more towards switching like you did, except I originally had Cole more human. And now I kind of think it makes more sense to have him remain or return to being a spirit, especially if you know for sure what you're gonna do with Solus at the end of Veilguard. But that's more of a out of world reasoning, not an in-world reasoning. If Solus is going into the Fade to keep the veil up forever, he needs someone to talk to. Especially if Lavellin's not going with him. He needs a buddy. Cole can hang out with him.
You just made me realize something absolutely insane about this quest in the context of Veilguard. What reason do we think that Solus might be opposed to trying to take a spirit and make it more human?
He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and he's not happy about it.
Yep. This completely recontextualizes Solus's utter denial of even trying this.
Mm-hmm. And that's my take on it. And hearing Solus talk about, how Mythal brought him out of the Fade really is like what made me even consider this as a patron chat topic, because he is so filled with regret. He is so like mournful and sad and grief stricken that he, got a body, basically, that he became mortal, not mortal, but that he became corporeal. And I immediately was taken back to Inquisition and thinking about like how distraught he is at Cole's even suggestion that he wants to become more human. And Solus is like, no, you can't do that. And it's sad because for Solus, if you put it in his perspective, like he's remembering how much he regrets and how much he wishes his own life could be different. And so he's trying to, in his own Solus way, help Cole and prevent him from going down that same path. And so for me, I'm like, you know what? I kind of get that. I'm hearing what you're saying. Whereas previously, when I played Inquisition before Veilguard, my take was always, well, this is what Cole wants. He wants to be a human, so let's just listen to him and let him make the decision for his own life. But it's really complicated now with Solas's revelations and everything we get from Veilguard, I think.
It's crazy too, though, because like we want Cole to make his own decision because we believe in autonomy. It's kind of like it's highlighting the problem that Solas has consistently. It's his biggest character flaw. He always thinks he's making the right decision. He can't see another perspective. Even if he kind of can see it, he always thinks, well, I might be able to see your point, but I'm still right.
That's true.
So that's literally his character flaw. So it's like we saw what was going to happen before we even knew what was going to happen. And again, so much therapy is needed in Thetis. So much therapy.
Yeah. Solas and his I want everyone to have autonomy, except not really, because I want to tell everyone how they should be.
He wants to have everybody to have autonomy as long as that autonomy makes the same exact decisions he would make.
Exactly. To kind of chime in here, like 99% of my playthroughs, I do make Cole more human. I think that Varric has a more compelling argument in some ways. He's like, because, he's like, he came here to be a human. He's trying to like do something with the memory of Cole and like replace something that was lost unjustly in the world or whatever. And that always sounded better to me than Solas's like, well, I mean, my opinion about Solas is that he's very sanctimonious, and that just always turns me off anyways. But I've kind of backfilled a lot of like more compelling reasons after the fact from watching what happens when Cole becomes more spirit-like. And so, in a non-canon sort of way, in a way where my Inquisitor wouldn't have the knowledge that I have. But the thing that always spooked me about making Cole more of a spirit is that when you go to confront the Templar that killed other Cole, instead of doing the process that he's been doing for everyone else, where he kind of tugs at the strands of what's making them feel grief and feel pain and like trying to heal that pain within the Templar, he just makes him forget. He just takes the memory out of that man's head and lets him go. And I always thought, wow, that's spooky, because that's the same thing that the Nightmare Demon does. It takes people's memories of the Blight and steals them and grows based off of that. And so, before Veilguard, that was my kind of theory going into the rest of the story. I was like, well, I feel like if he's a spirit, that could create issues down the road. Maybe he's becoming more of a demon through that sort of act. But I don't think that actually matters now in the context of Veilguard. But it was something that really like sat with me for a while.
Well, and I think to add to that too, there's so much dialogue in the game about, is he a demon? Is he a spirit? And, the people who think he's a demon are so convinced that he's a demon. So that kind of lends credence to that, I think.
It's also a broad overarching like theme throughout the entirety of the lore of where that line of demarcation is between spirit and demon. Because the spirits and demons we are presented in Dragon Age Origins are very clear cut, or at least presented to us as being very clear cut. That we know what a demon is, we know what a spirit is. it's very, very clear to us. And that's sort of our perception in that game. And then when we get to Inquisition, that's when it starts muddying a lot of the lore. And it's not that they're retconning it necessarily, it's they keep adding things to it as we go through. And so, like, looking back on it, that for me is, at the time that I originally played Inquisition, I very much had the origins, and especially Dragon Age 2, because I played a lot of Dragon Age 2. I had that mentality in my head about spirits and demons. It's like, okay, a spirit is this, a demon is this. This is how you turn a spirit into a demon. This feels like we're coming up to this line a little bit. And so I think that Veilguard has recontextualized that. And also, the deeper I continue to dig into Inquisition, 11, 12 years later, I continue to discover new things. And by me, I mean Shelby does it, and I listen to the podcast and then go, oh, I never even realized that connection. Wow, that's so clever. I will now tell people this in my real life and sound smart at parties. Thank you, Shelby.
You're very welcome. I'm here to serve.
What I think is interesting also, like, we have Veilguard to recontextualize things, but there was also a moment where Trespasser recontextualized things because it adds additional information about what happens to the characters at the end. And Spirit Cole's thing is that he returns to the Fade and he's like, I'll be back to help a friend someday. And that kind of recontextualizes my worries that he's going to become a demon because maybe he was supposed to come back and help Solus through his pain or something. I feel like that might have been something that might have been present in a version of Joplin or something to bring Cole back into the mix, and then got scrapped or something. But
so, according to the art book, Cole was originally supposed to be brought back, not as a companion, but in the Joplin era of it. I recall reading in the art book that there were plans to bring Cole back. They don't say why they were scrapped, but they were scrapped. I have a private theory that the quest in Menrathis with the Spirit of Compassion was originally supposed to potentially be Cole. And when EA went in and got their little EA fingers in and basically time crunched them all to hell, they didn't want to do two different versions of it or have it be exclusive, have that be a choice that you preset. When they were like, we can't make a dozen quantum versions of these quests. We have to streamline the main ones we've got, and we're picking 3. That's one of my theories, is that was supposed to be Cole. And then when they were told, you basically need to streamline this to the point where you only pick a handful of things, then they were like, okay, this is a random Spirit of Compassion now. There's a couple of points in the Veilguard, now that I've played through it a couple of times, where I'm like, I think you were supposed to potentially be a different character and or plot line, and we had to unquantum this game. And I think that was one. But we do know from the art book he was supposed to be in the Joplin phase when you were on a mobile base running around. He was going to be with you. A whole bunch of the previous people were going to show up as advisors and stuff on that.
That is interesting. Submarine. That is interesting. I can definitely see that being the case. And I think it would have been nice. Would have been nice. But especially because I feel like the thing that we lose when Cole becomes a human is that you lose this spirit that can transcend boundaries and be anywhere and help anyone, help them through their pain and help them. In a way, Spirit Cole is more powerful because he's as like a resource to the world, which, isn't the best way to think about autonomous people, but he's able to be places and help people on a level that human Cole isn't able to accomplish as like a single corporeal version of himself.
It just makes me feel like it's such a missed opportunity with that, because I would have loved to have seen Cole actually in the Veilguard. And that actually kind of goes back to why I kind of lean more towards him staying a spirit now, because, like, again, trespasser canon, he's in the Fade saying he's going to return to help a friend. The friend he could have been helping could have been Solus, and he could have been on Solus's side. I feel like that would have almost been a more compelling version of that as well, but we'll never know now. EA.
There's a whole lot of very frustrating potential companion plot setups that happen at the end of Inquisition that clearly were meant to seed things later that I will die mad that we never, ever, ever get to find out what happened to the Hawk or Warden who disappeared at Viceopt.
I think the one for me
mad
is
about this.
The one for me is Solus's army of elves that just magically disappeared.
Where did they go?
See, I need to know if they were implying that some elves were going along with him, which kind of seemed to be what they were going, which was super interesting, or that a lot of elves were going with him, and now we're getting into slightly problematic territory. I needed to know where that plot line was originally going beyond he's hanging out with an army of elves in the woods.
I always interpreted
that was where it was supposed to go.
I always interpreted it as some of the elves, not all or not even most of them, but like the ones who are like have the they don't have anything left to lose. Like they're the ones that went and sided with Solus.
Maybe they broke away when they saw how crazy he was being, and that's how we got the veil jumpers.
Maybe.
Possible.
Executors, what the heck? There's too many questions we're never going to get answers to.
Well,
because again, EA.
We can talk ad nauseum about the things we wish happened in the Veilguard. I'm just going to throw in, why is there a the? But secondly, or more importantly, it's time for our mid-break. So let's go to that mid-break.
When cool, creamy ranch meets tangy, bold buffalo, the whole is greater than the sum of its sauce. Say howdy, partner, to new Buffalo Ranch sauce. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
At participating McDonald's.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo. There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault, a new series streaming now only on Peacock.
Walmart Business is in the business of saving you time, money, and hassle. Whether your business started in a garage or is a garage, Walmart Business has the tools to help you get where you're going. Tools like free shipping, multi-user accounts, and just about any item your company needs.
Even a double filtration cyclone dust collector.
Yep, even that.
Sweet.
Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love. Now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com. Terms apply.
That is uncharacteristically wise of you.
Yes, well, don't let it get around. I have a reputation.
We hear odd stories of Templars in the Imperium, Dorian.
All true.
I haven't even told you what I've heard.
Doesn't matter. All true. Particularly the part with the grapes and feathers.
Oh, I was leading towards that one, actually.
Please, go on. First, Talon. What? Seeing if you've got the hang of your new title yet.
Right. Me. First Talon.
If you join the Wardens, you could become the first Warden who's also First Talon.
The first Talon Warden.
Or First Talon First Warden.
Is that the first Talon who is a Warden, or the first Talon First Warden?
So many possibilities.
Welcome to the middle of the show where we have a time to thank our patrons. Thank you so much to all our patrons who support us, especially like those on our chat here. If you want to join us, you can join us at patreon.com/DALorecast. Another great way to support us is to leave us ratings or reviews on Apple or Spotify. If you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read it out on a future episode of the show. So today I have a blue-coded NPC who left us a comment on one of our What If episodes and said, "Finally caught up. I binged every episode in the last few weeks while at work. Before starting this show, I thought I knew most of the lore, but y'all showed me how wrong I was, and I'm delighted. Y'all do an amazing job explaining everything and genuinely make such a good show. Also, since this episode was about what if Hawk died in the prologue and Carver and Bethany were surviving Hawks? I think about this a lot. LOL. Keep being amazing. Heart." Thank you so much for that comment. We might do another What If episode. Who knows? We might talk about that one. That one is interesting. And then lastly, if you want to talk about it now, come join us on Discord. Come join the Cubs Podcast Team More Discord, where you can find all of us and you can talk to us and just talk about Dragon Age, talk about video games, and just have a generally great time. And with that, that's all we have for the middle of the show. We can get back into what to do with Cole.
This episode is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. What do you bring to a holiday party? Simple. A bottle of Casamigos. Because nothing gets the party started like a Casamigos margarita, which isn't just for summer. In fact, it's the perfect pour all year round. Casamigos is the gift that always feels right. Because anything goes with my Casamigos. Please drink responsibly. Imported by Casamigos Spirits Company, White Plains, New York. Casamigos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
All right, listen up, nacho chips. Quiet down, crispy potatoes. This is the moment Velveeta's been preparing you for, and you're not about to crack under pressure. Today's the day to go all in on the drip. Velveeta's Heat and Eat Queso is the MVP of any game day spread, so stick by them, and you'll be golden. Now get out there and make delicious history. No tailgate party is complete without Velveeta.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
This reminds me of a story.
Shocking.
It's about an impossibly handsome dwarf and his friend who got crowned King of the Nugs.
A Nug King? Really?
It's not as good as it sounds. Nugs mostly just shit on the floor and roll in it. Welcome to the deep roads.
Is it me, or is this the slowest lift ever constructed?
It's better than climbing down.
I could do with some music. Something with a flute.
How about we skip this one? Send your man instead.
How about I shove a canary up your coal mine?
Per the chat, can we have an EA roast episode? Here's what I would say. We can have one if we can not break any laws and not run the risk of getting sued. However, I am not confident in our abilities to ensure that. So we will be passing.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
fair. Someone call the resident lawyer in the Discord.
As Charles said, legally, I probably should not. And same.
There is one other element of the Cole decision that is recontextualized with Veilguard that I wanted to make sure I bring up, and that is Cole's a kid. And this is something that the fandom very frequently forgets, is that Cole is both written as very young, but also like specifically designed that way. Like there's a reason that the spirit is embodying a teenager. because we are supposed to look at him and go, that is not a fully mature adult human who is necessarily capable of making decisions. And I've been comparing Cole kind of in my head to what we get with Manfred, and how Manfred is inhabiting this body and trying to become learn to live on the mortal plane. And it's interesting to look at those two compared to each other, to how Manfred is with Emmerich versus the circumstances that have led to Cole being the way he is, both in Asunder and then on into the events of Dragon Age Inquisition. And I also think it's very telling that, the question is not necessarily Cole is faced with a choice. The question is, there's two people, two adults, telling Cole two different things. Which adult do you, as his legal guardian, side with? And I do think that has recontextualized the quest a great deal for me. Looking back after seeing the relationship between Manfred and Emmerich, and how we learn spirits interact with the world once they have crossed over into the mortal world, and just how inexperienced they are, and just how heavy this stuff is that Cole is having to deal with from day one.
That makes me very uncomfortable that by Trespasser he is dating Meriden. I know it's been a few years with that, but I'm also just kind of like, how old is this person hanging out with my spirit son now? That makes me uncomfortable.
Not necessarily totally comfortable with that, but
nope, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I had never thought about this before, and now I'm like,
It's one of those, I remember it being very, very, very controversial when Trespasser came out, and it hasn't really come up a lot since, but that was a criticized writing decision at the time, that the writers, when Inquisition originally launched, were talking about, Cole shouldn't be a romance option, correctly, in my opinion. Cole shouldn't be a romance option because he's not written to be an adult. And then by Trespasser, he's dating Meriden.
I also want to know how old she is. It doesn't really ever tell us.
Yeah.
Yes. How old is our resident propagandist?
Yeah.
I mean, she can't be that old if she's submitting a thing to the war table being like, hey, this bitch used to pull my hair in school. That does not sound like it was very long ago, that complaint that she was making about that fellow minstrel spreading lies about the Inquisition. That seems like a very teenager petty thing to do. So maybe I'm a little less creeped out about it now, but still, I need birth certificates.
If I had cannoned her as about 16-ish, 17-ish in Inquisition, so she'd be a couple years older by Trespasser.
That puts them both at legally, technically, since Cole's supposed to be like a teenager, also at age of consent by the time Trespasser happens, but I still don't like it.
I don't like this either.
I don't like doing that kind of math.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people who base their entire Cole decision on whether or not Krem ends up with Meriden instead.
That's hilarious.
Listen, I'm just saying, keeping Cole as a spirit in my canonical playthrough has only been reinforced by the fact that Krem gets together with Meriden.
But now I have questions about how old Krem is. I need to see everyone's birth certificates. I need to know how old everyone is now, and then they all need to sit down and have a lecture on consent. Iron Bull is presiding.
I don't think that they keep those kind of records in Thetis.
I mean, I definitely... Go ahead, Nick.
I do think it kind of checks out that Meriden would be younger, though, because her other canonical, crush is Sarah, who is also very young.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that Meriden and Sarah feel around the same age. And I think Krem is also probably around their age, if a few, a little bit older, but not by much. They are adults, but on the younger spectrum, whereas Cassandra and Blackwall and Iron Bull and Liliana, Varric, they're all on the older side of the spectrum of the companions in that game. So
I will also hasten to point out that Sarah's reaction to Meriden's weird writing a song about her is to break the fucking guitar thing, the lute that she has, and be like, that's fucking creepy. Stop singing that.
Well, I also think Sarah overreacts. Like, she's so dramatic, and for what? But
For
also it's kind of like, what else happened here? Like, this cannot be the entirety of the story. Like, there has to be more details that we're missing to make this make sense.
Oh, they got drunk and made out behind the tavern, and Sarah woke up the next day and was like, what? I guarantee you that's what happened.
Yeah, I do know that. I think it was David Gator who talked about it, specifically how like Cole is written to be. And I just watched Shelby deflate in the Zoom call when I mentioned David Gator. Let me see if I can find a primary source for this quote, actually. I can't find the original quote. But my point is, I do think that taking Cole's, like, the way he is written to be specifically coded as someone who is not necessary. He's like making a decision for the first time ever. And we also see like how Manfred is different when he's in a different environment. Because Cole is traumatized from the get-go. Cole like is traumatized to the point where he becomes other Cole. And then continues to be traumatized and then joins the Inquisition. Either has to deal with the whole thing at the Templar Stronghold, that's the name I can't remember, I've only done it once, or has to watch that place fall, then join the Inquisition, and then continues to get traumatized because the Inquisition. This kid is not doing well. And I do think that does inform, in hindsight, discussions of this particular decision.
I think that's a fair point. And like, we don't really, if you read Asunder, you get that a lot. But if you just play the game, there's a lot about like his inner workings of like, he doesn't understand anything that's going on. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He just kind of impulsively does things. He doesn't actively like sit down and decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. He just does it because he's a spirit.
Like the first big decision with him, and he's like, oh, this person is really suffering, pulls out a knife. I'm going to stab them now.
Right.
And then we all go, no, put the knife down. Except I'm pretty sure there's at least one of us in the Discord who was like, go ahead, dude. You know who you are.
I'm sure there's a lot of people. I think we probably need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess I haven't actually weighed in.
Oh, you weigh in and then wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there are strong arguments either way. Before the Veilguard, I was a strong camp for being human because I feel like it's what Cole wants. And I think I still stand down there as like, it's what Cole wants more. And like, I feel like it is a better alternative than like using magic to basically bind him from being bound. Is basically what the amulet does. And I don't like more of the same to prevent the same. Is that even a sentence? No.
Makes sense though.
Right. So I go back to that of like making him more human. And I also just feel like with the like trajectory of the games, and this is real, I actually do stand with this of like, I agree with Solus in a lot of ways that the veil is a wound upon the world because the Fade and the material plane were once one and the same. And so kind of like in the mythology of, you know, the sky always wanting to meet with the earth again. It's like the Fade longs to be part of the world. It longs to breach the veil. It longs to find cracks in its spirits, long to be a part of the world. And so I tended to like Cole as a human because I wanted to kind of correct that in a lot of ways. Like give a spirit a true understanding of what it means to be a mortal or a human. is a way of like correcting this separation. But I also think that like Solus, even under this, like given his own circumstances, he can't understand that, because when it comes down to it, Solus never really wanted to become corporeal. Like he didn't really want to. He was convinced to it because Mythal wanted him to. Um, Whereas Cole wants to. It's something he desires. So that I think that's where I stand on that.
I have sorry, I was going to say I have a question / comment on that. And I have not read Asunder. I have listened to your guys' episode about it. Did Cole really want to become a human, or was he just trying to reach original Cole in a way that he could actually help him more? And then my question is, like, once we get to that point in Inquisition, does Cole really want to be a human, or does he want to be a spirit? The question I have is, are Varric and Solus both just projecting what they would want onto Cole to make their argument? Do we really know what Cole himself actually wants when we're trying to make that decision?
And I think that's a fair point you bring up. But I think, number one, like, if we don't really know what Cole wants, we only know what he's telling us, right? Like, he thinks he wants to become a human. And so at some point, we just have to take his word for it. But going back to Asunder, he doesn't really decide to become human. It just happened, or become a spirit, like into the world and in the body. It just kind of happens. He's a spirit separate from the real Cole, who's like going through this trauma, and like they just become one, and it's like a freak thing. And for a long time, he doesn't understand what has happened. He doesn't understand who he is. And so I think when we say Cole wants to become human, we're specifically only talking about Inquisition and his plot line in the game. So, yes, I do think it's a fair question to bring up, though, about like what he truly wants and whether it actually is to be human. Because at the end of the day, my opinion is it's not so much that he wants to become more human, it's that he doesn't want to be possessed.
I would wonder how much weight one can truly give a decision made purely out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's going to have healthy, especially for somebody who is still learning the world in the way that Cole is, whether that's going to have consequences for him in the future, no matter what you choose. And I do think that, going back to the original thing that I said when I started answering the question, one of the things that I like about this quest is that it's clear it will have consequences in the future, that there will be net benefits like Capricorn Tower was talking about, but there will also be things that are lost. There will be things that are no longer able to be pursued because Cole has made this decision as a quote unquote young man that is going to be with him for the rest of his life.
The things we would all do if we could go back and yell at our teenage selves.
Yeah, it's really interesting that there is, I mean, obviously the diverging paths, but I'm thinking like, as a spirit, he's able to completely wipe the slate clean in a way that humans can't, right? Like when you get to like the final conversation with him in base game Inquisition, he's like, I'm just gonna forget about Cole if you choose spirit Cole. And he just wipes that, and he's like, I'm compassion now. You can call me Cole if you want me to. And I find that really creepy, but interesting. And then on the flip side, like I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's interesting that he just becomes so fundamentally changed in either path.
I agree. All right, Austin, I think it's time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go around and let you all say where people can find you and plug anything you want to plug, and we'll go in reverse order. So we'll start with LVCC13.
I am LVCC13 or Lizzie, and you can find me in the Discord, or you can find my voice in the Avengers audio drama on all of the major podcatchers, as well as on YouTube, where I play the Wasp or Janet Van Dyne. We have some great episodes out.
And CW Rogers?
You can find me both in the Discord and on a whole bunch of the social medias at CW Rogers 6. I do a whole lot of things. I have multiple podcasts. I write books. Sometimes I do entire conventions. You never know what I'm randomly going to decide to spend years of my life doing. So if you're interested in any of that, you can find it on all of my various social medias. Again, those are usually at CW Rogers 6, which is also who I am in the Discord.
All right. And then Capricorn Tower.
Yeah, that's me, Capricorn Tower. I haunt the Discord. I don't know. Currently playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and it's becoming my new deep lore obsession.
Shout out to Catboy Jonathan Bailey.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you all for being here on this episode. It was a lot of fun. If you got thoughts on Cole, shoot us in the Discord to let us know what you think. If Cole should be a human or Cole should be a spirit. Thank you all for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at DA Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions, topics to unpack, or side character suggestions, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's easily the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. You can find us there on patreon.com/DragonAgeLorecast.
The Dragon Age Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, give a big thank you to Pipeman Studios. Thank you, Pipeman. Thanks again for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
Are you a fan of Indiana Jones? How about someone who just enjoys an immersive story of historical fiction? If so, then the Indiana Jones Lorecast is the place for you. Join me, Sir Bandit, as we delve into the amazing and rich history of the Indiana Jones franchise, from the films and TV series to the novels, comics, and games. The show is available wherever you get your podcasts, so if you feel that call to adventure, you can come find me in my office. I'll see you there.